We're not working. Oh, we are, and I thought I got the picture on and I haven't, so oh dear, that's a mess, isn't it? I'm going to have to edit the beginning of that. I thought I got the picture up. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Craft Cave Live, and, you know, things that really we shouldn't be seeing. But are we working? Oh, we are. Yay! So, good evening, Anne. Deborah, thank you for your samples for the stamps, Deborah. They were beautiful. Jenny. Oh, God, it's coming on too quickly. Anne Hooper, Jenny Shaddick, Michael Cooley. Hello, Michael. Julie Tempton. Hello, Mabe. Spoke to you earlier. Anne Brown, Susan Carr, Vivian Nicholson, Elizabeth Fuller. I'm not going to read everyone's name out, I promise. I am not that boring. I know that is not the most exciting. So good evening, our Carol and Marjorie and Nicola. I'll finish with those ones. So hello, thank you for joining me on Craft Cave Live. Thank you for joining me here in the Craft Cave. If you are new to us, which I'm sure there must be some people who are new because we keep getting new viewers all the time. Craft Cave Live is just here live, and it's basically most of the time it's just doing a lot of demos. Sometimes it's a little bit of chat and a lot of questions. Now what I would like tonight is I have got some stuff prepped, but I haven't got a lot prepped. So I'd really like your questions. I'm using the new stamps, and I'm going to start off with a question I had earlier from our wonderful Junie. Hello, Junie, if you're watching. I know Junie doesn't usually watch live on the Wednesday because I think she watches someone else or something else, or she's has a dinner. I can't remember. Bless her. Junie usually watch on Catchbooks. Hello, Junie. But Junie asked, Michael, yes. I'm not going to read out Michael's question. If we get a few more, I might do. The answer is yes, Michael. So, few people have spotted that. So let's just check that YouTube's working, that everything's going okay. It looks like it's decided it's going to time tonight. It's been running fine, but let's just test it. No, it says everything's running fine. I don't think it likes doing two shows at once. I really don't. Look at this, isn't it clever? It's got the, it says live Q&A. Oh, I like that. Live Q&A, comment below. Ooh, I like that. That's new. So if you have got any questions, please ask your questions, particularly about stamping, but please ask your questions and please feel free to. So good evening, Peg. Good evening, and Mountjoy again, and Miriam. What have we had? Have we had any others? We've just had Michael ask something so far, and nobody else has spotted it, I don't think. Oh, we've got the lovely Craftaholic in. Love that. And our Hazel, Brainbridge, always wrote it wrong, always typed it wrong. And our Leslie's here. How's your back, Leslie? I hope it's feeling better than earlier. So let's just move that. It's giving me a warning. So let's take it off that. I don't think it likes that. Oh, yeah, let's just go on to that one. So I've got a pile of stuff here that I said I was going to do. But I will keep trying to keep an eye on sort of what we're doing. Love that. And that's what I wanted to show you. And this is what June's question was about. June's question was about how does she colour with the bells, that sort of with the sparkle pens, how does she get an easy colouring, but also, so Zena's asked as well, so how do you store your stamps? So I spotted it, John, says Jenny. I'm not sure what you spotted, but just to answer a few people who've asked us, yes, we have been in discussions with Hobbycraft TV. We'll be announcing it properly tomorrow, so don't say anything. But we will be working with Hobbycraft TV. We have had to keep very, very quiet. Yes, 7 a.m. I know. I like mornings though, so I like that. As to when our first show would be or whenever, we'll announce that in about a week's time. We've still got to do all of that sort of thing. And the proper announcement is, they've asked us to sort of tell everyone tomorrow, but I'm telling you lot tonight. So I'm hoping Jane and Peter aren't in and won't shout at me. Yes, we will be going on. We are talking to Hobbycraft TV about going on there. So yeah, and then someone else just asked, how do I store my stamps? I store my stamps on our stamp sheets. These are stamp storage sheets. Now for the show, I would always have one on each one, but these are fabulous. I'm not even showing you the overhead. So these are the stamp storage sheets. You can store stamps on both sides, but basically stamps just stick to them. And they fit inside. Thank you, Leslie. They fit inside our die storage cases. They were designed to fit inside our die storage cases. Helen Louise, we don't know that, not at the moment. I don't believe I don't know a lot of detail. I can't give you a lot of detail. And again, I haven't said anything, so I never said anything. But this is how I store them, and then they literally store inside our stamp storage cases or die storage cases. So I can't remember, I think it was Julie asked. So this is how I store my stamps. Just like this. And it makes it so much easier. And you can, I don't do it, but you can store them front and back. So I tend to put them just on the front, but you can store them on the front and back to make it more economical. But what I tend to do is do a couple of sets in the same place. Just like that. I want to use that one, so I'm going to leave that one out. So just like that. Susan says we can keep secret, mum's the word. There we go. But you can see that's how I store my stamps. That way I actually use them. I look through and I use them, and I look through. I mean, I'm going back now. You know, that's a red rubber stamp from years ago. That's some of our finger stamps. You know, I keep all my stamps, you know, nice and neatly. I do need to sort them out. Michael, question. If you're going on holiday, what craft would you take aboard? Yeah, you say aboard because you know I'd be going on a cruise. I always take, Michael, I always take a sketchbook and a set of pencils. I've got a set of pencils. And it's funny enough, we were saying this last night. We were watching a show about cruising last night. And we said, I have literally always taken pencils and a sketchbook. And I think I've only ever used them once. And always the idea is to sketch down any ideas I've got or do some sketching. And sort of get my sketching skills up. And so that's what I would take, and that's what I do take. So our Junie asked about, I'm going to grab a piece of white card, about, first of all, colouring. Oh my gosh, it took me ages to get that red rubber stamp, John. I love that red rubber stamp. If I could do it again. Question, John, can we have a lesson in colouring? I'm not very good. Well, this might help. The best person to do a lesson in colouring is our Leslie. if I could get our Leslie to do a video of how to use an alcohol markers and colour one of our stamps, I would do it in a flash. Because our Leslie is amazing. She's the colourist. And I really need to ask our Julie, if she's watching, if she would do a video or a live perhaps on here about how to colour with pencils, because she's amazing with pencils. I've got to tell you, Julie, Leslie, when I spoke to her earlier in the week, I forgot to tell you earlier, she said to me, she said those coloured images of Julie's are just amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment down at the same time, actually. I don't normally do this. So I'm putting this on. So this helps sometimes, certainly if you're using things like the sparkle pens. I want to show you how we can get shading with them. So I'm just going to go over, and it's a trick I've done loads. I'm sure most of you have seen this. But I'm sure there's people who haven't. I have what I call a mucky. This is one of our Craft Artist clear embossing ink pads, and this is my mucky one. I do have a clean one as well that I use for clean embossing, but I use my mucky one for techniques. And what I want to do is, first of all, and I'll explain why I'm doing this, I'm going to ink the stamp with the clear embossing ink. Yeah. Now this is how to get an embossed black line. So I put that down first. Then I take my normal black VersaFine or your archival or whatever you would do. Carol Byers would take the mini die machine and some flower dies so I can make flowers while I'm away. Carol, what a wonderful idea. I don't think Sammy would let me do that one somehow. I really don't. I think he'd go mad. So now I'm inking the stamp that's got the sticky ink on it with my black VersaFine. The reason I'm doing this is because I've found every black powder I've ever used always is clumpy. And if I want a nice crisp raised black line, this is the best way I've found to do it. So all I do, I've then got my line, but these are such fine lines in our stamps that the black powder can be too clumpy and you lose it. So all I'm going to do now is, this is transparent, this is clear embossing powder. So I'm using an eyes ink one because I think they're fabulous. You know, and you stick to what you like. But can you see there's no black clumps on that at all because it's clear. So if there are any clumps, you don't see them. And then take my heat gun. Remember, when you're using your heat gun, heat it up first. Yeah, so Leslie and so putting them on the spot. So our Leslie and our Julie, let us know if you fancy doing a live on some colouring at some point. So all I'm going to do now is heat it up, but can you see it's going to go crisp black? But I don't get any of those clumps that I normally get. But if you're worried about colouring, certainly you're going to use the watercolour and the sparkle pens, then this is a good way to do it because it's harder to go outside the lines. Question, what pens do Leslie and Julie use to colour, please? I think Leslie uses Copics, and I think, to be honest, our Julie uses polychromos, but I'm not sure. Julie will let me know. Julie and Leslie, you can answer that far better than I can. So, shading with a watercolour. This is honestly so easy. You think it's not, but it actually is. I'm using the yellow and the orange. So where can I order those stamps from, please? Elizabeth, you can get the stamps. If our Nicola's watching, sometimes she'll put a link on because she's an absolute star. But if our Nicola's watching, put a link on, but you can get them from the Art of Craft because we don't put any sort of official on. But can you see here, all I'm doing is colouring up to the line. Because I've kind of got that well, it's easy. Yeah, but remember, our pens are fine nib. But it stops everything running. It's great if you're doing watercolour. So I'm just colouring everything at the minute in yellow. But can you see, because I've not got any of that really thick, but that is embossed, but nobody actually knows. It's almost like a secret. It's literally almost like, oh, Deborah's put it on. Thank you, Deborah. If I was Sam, I'd be the same. Because you do die cutting and everything for work, you should be having a break. Yeah, you're probably right on that one. But also because of the mess, I think he'd be embarrassed of, like, the cleaners or the room steward finding die cut bits everywhere. So this, can you see how easy that is? And as Anne's just said, colouring is so mindful. It really is. I've got a few polychromos. Someone's just said they're their favourites. I have got a few polychromos. Sammy bought me some for Christmas a couple of years ago. Not a massive expensive set, like a 12 pack he found at a really good price. So what I'm doing is, to start with, I'm just colouring everything in yellow. But can you see, because that line's got that little reservoir, I'm not going outside of it particularly, and it's not flooding. So you could do this with pencils, you could do this with your alcohol pens. So there I've got my bells, but what I want to do is I want to sort of make them look a bit more 3D. So I've managed to drop my orange and crack it, which is not good. I need to get a new set. So the orange, what I'm going to do is just start, and I've decided that the darker is this left hand side. Yeah, Julie said pencils are predominantly Faber-Castell Polychromo pencils and a few other brands. Watercolour paint from tubes, liquid acrylic paint. So all I'm doing is I'm putting the darker on the left. Yeah. Same with the bells. So I'm putting darker on the left and then a little bit, not as much, on the right of the orange. You see that starts to sort of 3D it. So it's just a simple rule. When you're doing something you want it to look 3D, it's going to be darker on the two sides and lighter in the middle. And then just to make it stand out a little bit more, I'm going with the orange on the sort of rims, on the raised areas. Yeah? Oh, Julie says we can discuss a live demo. That's brilliant. Thank you, Julie. And it looks like, well, someone said thank you, Leslie. That would be great. So I think our Leslie might have said yes. I'm not sure. I'll speak to them properly rather than just force people on air. Some people are comfortable, some people aren't. So I'm just going to, there we go. So same idea again. I'm just going from one side where I think, you know, left and right, and for the bell it's going to be a lot heavier on this left hand side. Yeah, so there's our two bells done. Let's move that up a little bit so you can see. And then all I do is take one of our clear shimmer pens and just colour over the top, and that helps just to blend those colours in a little bit, but also adds a sparkle. So just like that, there we go. I'm definitely doing techniques tonight. But using that is almost like using an alcohol ink. Using this is almost like using a blender over the top, or using where you mix them in together. But it's really given those bells dimension. Oh, that's exactly what our Anne's just said. Oh, Beryl, ordered my Christmas stamps Monday. Got them today. Great service. They are really good. They really are. Good evening, Margaret. You don't have to apologise for being late. We're just happy that people join us. We really are. So let's just colour those in. And I don't have to go crazy everywhere. But you see now, we've 3D'd and we've softened that edge so that when it's held back, they are 3D. They are almost jumping off the page. Yeah, so easy to do. You watched me do it. It could not be honestly, any simpler. For the holly, I'm going to take the lightest green. And I'm just going to do that. Now, I've found when I mix the greens together, can you see now why I've actually gone and embossed it? Yeah, because it just makes it easier where it's fine. But these nibs are so fine. I know I've said this before and it sounds like, you know what I mean, like a line, but we actually had them give us small nibs on all of our pens. Yeah, which we don't normally get. Every other company goes for medium or usually large, certainly in the sparkle pens. And that's not what we wanted. So they couldn't believe us when we said we wanted the smallest nibs. But it makes colouring so much easier, like this. So I'm just going to go in here, there we go. Okay. With my light green. And colour all of that. But obviously I want to 3D that. I mean, now you can kind of see that bow popping out and that 3D. But if I take one of the darker greens, yeah. Oh yes, our Janet is COVID free. I forgot she's passed a test, bless her. Can you see if I put that green on, they're not going to blend that well. Yeah. Michelle, where do we get refills for pens? We don't do refills for the pens. We have often, the problem is the actual cost of refills is about the same as the pens. There isn't any value. There's no saving in doing that, to be honest. And sometimes when you'll see like, I don't know, say an ink pad is £7.99 and the refill is £5.99. Sometimes, to be honest, a pound of the cost is put onto the ink pad. We don't do that. You can fill them with absolutely anything. So you can fill them with your refills or anything else. You can fill them with anything else. But it's cheaper to buy a new set if they run out and use these for other projects and use them for other things if you love the colours than to get refills. That's why we don't do it. So can you see that they're not going to match very well? Well, this is where I use the other trick I came up with the other day. So I'm going to squeeze a bit of the green out onto my mat, that darker green. And then our sparkle pens come in two. You come in a twin pack. So this is my clear one, which you can see is clean. And this is what I call my mucky one. And I have one that's mucky to do this with. And what I can do is squeeze out a bit of that clear and mix it with the green and make a lighter green sparkle. So then I can add some dark on, and it would be darker where the leaves start, just like this, yeah. So I can add some darker green on that will blend beautifully without it going too rough, if that makes sense. I really hope, I'm saying if that makes sense a lot. But can you see that then I can clean that out and just add some sparkle if I want over the rest to blend them together. But again, can you see there then? We've got 3D looking holly. And again, a little bit of sparkle. Not as much as we get from a sparkle pen, but just amazing. But you can add more layers on if you want to. Oh, that's really, really kind. The Art of Craft is excellent value, and Brown. The Art of Craft, excellent value for money, extremely helpful and exceptional and excellent on delivery, in my opinion. They can't be bettered by any other company. Thank you. I will pass that on to Jane. She works really, really hard to make sure that everybody, that the orders go out so quickly. They race in and they'll work weekends. Karen says, it's nice you don't follow the crowd, John. The reason why I say that, we don't always want the things everyone else is doing. Well, we don't, and we do what we want to do, and you know, that's what we like to do. So now this is where our Junie was asking. So I want to do the ribbon and the berries. So I'm going to do them in red. So I'm giving this time I'm taking the sparkle pen. I want the ribbon to sparkle. And all I'm going to do is go, see how fine it is? Okay. So I'm doing again, the top and the bottom. Yeah, okay. I'm leaving a bit in the middle of each bow white. Yeah. So I know that will all be dark, but here, yeah. Top and the bottom. See how easy it is because I've done those lines in. Yeah. Same idea. Bottom and top. Okay. All of that will be dark. Yeah. And then don't move your hand, move your work. So, same idea. That will be dark, that will be dark, that'll be light, that will be dark, obviously. So top and bottom, think top dark, bottom dark, or left dark, right dark, middle lighter. So I'm leaving white. And you can see it already looks as if it's a little bit 3D. Just by that, yeah. Debbie Smith says the guys at the Art of Craft, which I've had dealings with, are so lovely and always help to sort things out. They do, they really do. They care. They really do. You know, Jane really cares. So does Penny about everybody because they're crafters. Jane's been running the Art of Craft. She's had it for over 40 years now. So again, I'm going to take my messy one. I'm going to work the green out and I'm picking up literally a little bit of red. I want it to run out, yeah, as if it's almost pink. And all I'm going to do is just draw that sparkle pen between onto those white areas from the dark to the light, yeah? From the dark to the light with a clear sparkle pen. And a lot of it's about impression. You can see now how that looks 3D. It's simple and easy to do. Oh, the lovely touch is how they sign each receipt with each parcel. A nice touch. That's lovely. I don't get that. I just get a parcel. I don't get anything in it. I just get a parcel. So, again, just go in between the dark, two dark areas and kind of pulling the colour almost. There we go. And there's one last one. I'm going to have to move my work and not me. So I'm going right over, which just pulls that little bit of the colour out. And you might think, oh, it's a bit too pronounced. So you could, you know, you can take a little bit more red and, you know, pinken it a little bit. If you think, oh, that's too light, just once you've done it, take a little bit more of the red and just go over. But that's why I have two. That's why these come in twos. I mean, I know I shouldn't say, I say it in Craft Cave, can't I? Two of these is the same price as one of the other brand. So all we're going to do, there we go, pull that over. And there we've got a nearly finished 3D'd sparkle watercolour. But it's not obvious, and I've not used a lot. I've not had to use much at all. Anne Brown says, you know they love you, John. Oh, I think tolerate sometimes is the best. Now, oh, Susan's just said, oh, John, you are so good at colouring in. Yes, I get it. No, honestly, Susan, I'm not. The experts are people like our Leslie and our Julie and a lot of other and the Angels. I'm not. what I do basic. If I can do it, honestly, you can do it. That is the way I look at it. I don't do complicated, and I will always knock my colouring because I always think I'm just doing what anyone can do. But you can see there, we've gone 3D. So simple. We really have. And you can go over the top. You can, you know, I could take that little bit of pinky red in with the white, and I could, you know, add a little bit more darkness in. I don't really think it's necessary. I'm going to, because I've started, I've got to finish. But I'm just going to add that little bit more in. But it's not necessary. It's already 3D'd. And it's so easy. It's literally, anyone can do this. So, let's just trim him down. And I need another question, guys, because I've answered that one. And I'm not going to do what I was going to originally do because I'm a nightmare. There we go. Let's make that bit smaller and cut that bit off. Where I've got a splash on. There we go. But there, simple 3D colour. Now, there is a trick, and I know that, you know, our Leslie will tell you this one. Ooh, that's dark. No, we don't want anything that. Oh, what's the lightest? Let's check this one. This is a light grey. Yeah. So if you really do want to make it stand out, then what you do is you can take, and it's an alcohol pen really, just go around the whole image and draw a grey line. And this does two things, even when you've used watercolours, you know. So what you're doing is now is mixed media. If you have missed anywhere or anything has sprayed out, which it shouldn't do, the alcohol ink will just burn it off. So it covers a multitude of sins. But it really makes it stand out from the image. You almost don't realise, you probably can't see at the moment that it's there. But it is, and I'll hold it forward so you can see properly when I've done. So all I'm doing is going around, and it's really easy when I've done the same thing, when I've done this emboss. By embossing it, it means it won't leak in and it won't go over the line. So this is easy. It's cheating. It's doing things the easy, cheap way. So going all the way around. There we go. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see how it stands off from the page with that grey line. To show you forward, look. You don't even see there's a grey line, but how much is that standing off that paper like you foam mounted it? Question, Debbie, is there a particular alcohol pen that is best to use? Everybody will give you a different answer on this one. The only thing, the two I use, I've got Graph Masters, which come from Germany. And I use, and I have some beautiful ones with brush pens, which are Couture Creations, which are from Australia. It's worth spending a little bit more, but you don't buy yourself into a market. So if you get the cheap Oohoo ones, they'll work for things like the grey and stuff. It's not something we'd use for colouring. But unless I would go the mid-range, I tend to go like a mid-range price on alcohol pens. what it's not worth doing unless you're really serious is getting into things like Copics. They are very expensive. They're beautiful pens and your results will be stunning if you know what you're doing, but you're talking nearly thousands of pounds. And unless you're really heavily into it, it's not worth it. You will not get a better performance out of it. You get a better performance out of it if you have had months of training. Yeah, it's not worth going, oh, I will buy the best. The alcohol pens are something where buying the best top range will, you do that base, supermarkets do basic, better, best. Stick to better. And for some, start off with basic. Start off with basic, start off with the cheapest you can find. See how you get on. Yeah. Karen says grey softer than black. Michelle, what pens are you using? I'm using it's a Graphmaster in grey, which is a German pen that they used to stock at Creative Expressions many years ago. I actually found them at Frankfurt and went, those are good, we need those. The colouring I've been doing has been using the Craft Artist watercolour brush pen set, the Craft Artist clear shimmer pen, and the Craft Artist can't get the word right. Come on, John, get it right. What are they called now? Sparkle pens, I think. Can't remember. Someone tell me. What are they called? Jackie Mary Dowes. When I help in a craft shop, I would buy a couple of Copics each week. Glitter brush pet set. This is the festive set. That makes more sense. I get that. One last thing I wanted to show you on this. Sorry. It's me just wittering on aimlessly. Is all I'm going to do over this sentiment of may your Christmas truly sparkle. This is why I love the clear pens. I'm just randomly brushing over that sentiment so that sentiment just brushes. No, Wink Stella's twice the price of ours, and ours have got more. Ours have got more glitter in them. Yeah, get these ones, Anne. If you're buying new, don't buy a Wink Stella. Buy these. They're far better. But we get that little bit of sparkle on there. So, festive. Thank you, Erica. Honestly, I'm a nightmare. So, what have we had? Have we had any other questions? Anything anyone would like me to show them? Someone said I've been looking for 3D foam everywhere. At the top of this page is a link to Virtual Plastic and discount code, Julie said. If you don't want to buy a lot, if you're just wanting a single roll, or you want to add it into your order, you can get it from the Art of Craft. They have it in stock as well. So if you're wanting to just add one roll in and try it out, or it's a best value, add it into your order and then it's free P&P because it's quite expensive to P&P for ordering these. So let's just check that's working. It is. Yay. So let's go back onto the Facebook. You don't need the whole set, just a few in each colour tone. Yeah, Leslie's your best person to ask. Honestly, when it comes to alcohol markers, Leslie has had the full training and is the expert. Right, now, what else was I going to do? I can't remember now. I kind of lost it. Oh, that was it. I wanted to show you colouring on craft card. Are you going to demo the fusion paste? Not tonight, Debbie. I have done that lots. If you look back, we have used the fusion pastes an awful lot. So have a look back on some of the YouTube videos. They're on there. I will be using them again at some point, but I'd not planned to tonight. Michelle Sowden, are you part of the Art of Craft? The Art of Craft is family. We call them our official stockist. The Art of Craft, along with Crafts Too. So all of the John Next Door products, Craft Artist, all the ones that I use and love and are involved with, are from Crafts Too. Crafts Too is sort of like Mr. Crafts Too, and then there's Mrs. Art of Craft. Art of Craft is like our official stockist, so they are like family. It isn't my business. You know, if you buy 100 things from there, 1,000 things, one thing or nothing, it doesn't make a difference to me. So I don't want anyone to think, you know, I'm not on commissions from them or anything. They are like family to us, and it's what we call our official stockists. So I hope that explains, are you part of the art of craft? So we are, but we aren't. Well, I'm independent. I like to stay independent because I can use whatever the heck I like then. So what am I going to do? I've done the candle. Yeah, actually, I'm going to use the candle because I loved that one. What are the tri-blends like, Julie? I've never used them. Someone was asking, someone said, I think another company do a company called, what do you call it? Called a tri-blend, where you've got 3 alcohol pen colours in one pen. I've never used them, so I don't know. I do know about Spectrum Noirs. I've used a lot. I will buy a lot of what's out in the market to see what they're like, to be honest, to see if they are any good. So one of the things when you're stamping on craft card, that might look quite clear. And this is why I use a platform. But I can see a little bit closer. It's not crisp enough. Craft card soaks your ink in. Yeah? So I will always give it, and I'm using black. Brown just doesn't stand off well enough. I will always give it at least 2 stamps on a card that soaks it in a little bit. Now I can see that's crisped that up a lot more. Now this is the sort of thing that I would use the sparkle pens for. And again, they will work, as Maureen says, on parchment, the same as the Wink of Stella ones will. But this time, I've got more colour in this. When I was doing parchment work, I bought special felt tips and pencils, great for colouring on vellum. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that, but... Louise says, I'm not a coloured. I have the tri-blend and found the colouring on them is really good. Oh, that's good. What's that juice? My mum got some of the duo ones today when we went to Crafters Companion in Evesham. They were £1 each. So, yeah, and Dawn likes them. So, yeah, it's not something I've used. So, when you're using a saturated card, that's when I want to use the glitter pens. So, when I'm using a different colour than white, I want the colours to show, but can you see there how sparkly that is and how that gold actually works? Not sure if this was asked, will Hobbycraft be stocking products in store online? I believe that's an eventual plan. I don't know at the moment, but it's certainly not from launch, if that helps. So, there we go. But I don't know a lot of detail. I really don't, so I can't tell you. So I've gone for those in gold. Yeah. I'm going to use the red for the poinsettia. But there's just that bit more pigment, and I'm colouring over because they're not opaque. They are still translucent. But when you're colouring on a coloured card, it's a lot harder to get colours to show. That's why the sparkle pens work so well on this. If you want a decent pen for doing the colouring, they are good. If you get serious, then I'd go with what you have, middle of the range pen. Yeah. I thought you meant colourist, Louise. I think I knew that. No, I mean, you know, I'm not a colourist. I mean, look, I'm literally just splashing bits on. So I've just gone with that. Now, I'm going to go with the bow in red as well. But I don't need to do any shading because I've almost got shading in the stamp and the card gives the colour right. But I think the sparkle pens work so well on craft or darker hued cards. It really work. Oh, Emma, they are launching on your birthday, aren't they? So there we go. So I'm just colouring that. There's so many different types of ink and pens. It's a minefield. You can keep buying forever. That's why we've done what we've done, and we're not going to do alcohol pens and things like that. Other companies do them. We do things that we think that other people haven't got right, if that makes sense. I know what I mean by that, but that probably doesn't sound right. When the product can be improved, alcohol inks are, there's so many companies out there that got them and got them right. So, you know, we've done what we've done for that work for ours, and there's no more sort of colours planned or anything. So I'm using the green just for the holly. And again, I know at the moment you're probably not seeing the sparkle on this. I can see that you're not, but I know I am. So let's bring that up a little bit. There we go. Now you are. Yeah, it's never the great evening, our lovely Helen. Let us know you're okay, babe, will you? If you get a chance. Don't worry if not. So all I'm going to do is just colouring all of the green in. I'm just putting a little bit over where I've got, where these little sort of things are. And then, of course, the top, the candle, I'm going to use gold. I'm going to add a little bit more gold on. I really want those to sparkle. But then what do we colour the candles in? Because I don't want to colour those. Leslie says, use what you have. As long as you're happy with it, then it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's always been my intention, Samantha. It's always been our intention in Crafts 2. And Crafts 2 have been in the business now nearly 30 years. So what all I'm going to do for the candle is to just use the clear sparkle pen. There is a white in the set, but I'm just going to use the clear sparkle pen first. And just on that. Just for the main body. And then I'm going to take the white out of this. And then I get that little bit of shading because this is a lot whiter. This is not the same as the clear. Also has a different sparkle in it as well. So just make sure I've coated that properly. And there we go. Oh, white berries. But there, let's go forward. You can see that a lot better going forward. Oh, there we go. That's it. But that's how to get that effect, because not a lot works on craft card. Deborah uses, oh, that's lovely. Deborah, I use watercolour inks, distressed inks, or fusion inks for my colouring. Yeah, same as me. I don't use distress. I've never used distress particularly. I love the excitement you have with products you believe in. It's, well, you should. Most part. They are cheaper and better than other products. We always said, try and be first, cheapest, best. If you can get 2 out of those 3, to my mind, you're on a winner. If you can get all 3 of them, then there's no reason. But that really, really works for me. Oh, thank you, Susan. It says, very sparkly, looks beautiful. I need to order the glitter pens. My puppy ate the white one. Oh, Debbie. It's really bad, isn't it, to do that's happened. Sorry, I didn't realise that. I'm still on the front camera and here's me reading comments. Right, so a few minutes early, but I am going to finish because it's been a long night with that. So if anyone's got any last questions, fire them in. We will be giving out more information about what's going on and what's going out in the industry as soon as we know and what we're supposed to say. Yes, there is a new channel. Yes, we are talking to them. And between us, yes, we are doing it. Sammy back. Hello, Sammy back.
250 quid.
Where's that from?
Correct.
You gonna get one?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, right.
I've got it. It's going to go in there where the dishwasher was.
That's a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. What did you put it on? Oh, right, yes. Sammy's going to kick up a new tumble dryer. Yay! So I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, we are going to be doing that. So hopefully you are going to see John Next Door back on your normal screens. But we will give more information out as we know what's happening and as to dates and times or whatever's happening and things like that. And as we know more and things like that. But keep it between ourselves because we're not supposed to say anything till tomorrow. But it has gone past 5 o'clock, isn't it? So technically it is tomorrow. But we will. So keep an eye out on the Facebook to see what's going on. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did watch in the earlier show, thank you for joining that as well. Thank you for watching me now. I say thank you too much, don't I? But I genuinely really appreciate all of the help and support of all the cavers, of everyone who comes in and helps us and does things, you know, and chats and keeps everyone company. So thank you for tonight. I'm not in on Saturday. I'm having Saturday off, so we haven't got a Saturday Night Live, but I'm back on Sunday at 6 o'clock on The Art of Craft. We'll try and share it to here as well with the brand new, with the brand new launch of the last 2 Christmas dies, so which is the Christmas stocking and the slimline berry bow, which is, I think they're really, really nice. Sarah Jane Kennedy says it's tomorrow somewhere in the world. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's got to be. But thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully you can join me 6 o'clock on Sunday. Anything you want to ask, remember, our messenger is open and we're always happy to chat. But take care, guys, and I'll